As lead scientist for Victoria, Dr. Amanda Caples combines the elements of government, industry and education to foster economic development within the Victorian economy. She has a focus on collaboration as well as transparency of resources to help prepare the community for jobs of the future.
So first of all, we need to access offshore talent, and in fact there's a global war on talent. We need to develop our own supply source because if we don't, it will be difficult for us to compete. The fact that someone goes offshore shouldn't necessarily be seen as a loss, because it's a connecting point internationally that can contribute, whether they come back or not, that they can be an ambassador internationally.
Sure. What could industry do more to retain Australian STEM experience?
If industry can engage with students to broaden their outlook and probably inform them of the types of jobs that are available, the skill sets that they're needing, and in giving them an idea about what subjects are needed to support those skill sets. And these are the sorts of roles that it can lead to. And that's the missing link, I think, at the moment.
Historically, has it been disinterest or disencouragement for women to get into STEM?
There has been unconscious bias, both, at all facets of society. But I was only one of 3 girls doing physics in HSC in those days. We are finding that girls are becoming more interested. The thing that really turns them off is if they don't see the relevance of it, and there can be peer pressure to take other subjects.
What do you think needs to change specifically to encourage more women to get into STEM?
There was a report just recently that there are in Australia over 300 programs to encourage women in STEM.
Right.
And you've got to say, that's probably too many. Right. So how do you make it clearer for people about where to go and what are the most impactful programs?
A lack of awareness.
It's a lack of awareness, so lack of information.
And is that an active role you're looking to drive with the government?
So one of the sort of projects that we've been working on is a map of the science ecosystem here in Victoria. What the universities are offering, what the private sector is offering, how schools can access undergraduates to mentor and work with teachers in the classrooms.
So why is STEM so important at this point in Australia's journey?
We're not producing enough students that have got that baseline, that foundational skill set in subject areas that are going to underpin future jobs.
It's been said that in schools there's a disparity between teaching capabilities, resources, literacy, numeracy levels. So how much of the focus should be on STEM versus addressing those aspects?
Whilst there is a lot of focus on STEM, because there's a problem there, that's not at the expense of other skills that students will need to have. One of the initiatives, for example, was in the process of rolling out is an initiative called Tech Schools, which are really collaborative hubs that have technology that schools can't invest in by themselves.
But they
can access, and encouraging students to think about different roles in businesses. And if you think about it, in industry, most of the jobs are actually in the pipeline from the product or service through to the markets. All of those jobs require some level of proficiency in STEM, and we need to encourage students to think about those broader roles, and that's where industry can help, because they can talk about it. So clearly as a society we're going to digital. One needs to understand the potential of that technology, and increasingly we're going to find that understanding the human element around technology, because at the end of the day it's people and technology, they go hand in hand, and if one gets out of balance, then that's when it takes us into troubled waters.
Yeah, I think it's a very good point that it's not, there are concerns, there are ethical concerns, there are moral concerns, but it's going to take some time to actually put structure around that. And society goes through a bumpy journey on that path, I think, ultimately. So just one last question. What would be your message to encourage others to get into STEM, women or others, to get into a field of STEM or education?
So above all else, follow your passion. Persevere, because if it was easy, you wouldn't have to learn it. And that you don't need to know everything. Successful people are people who understand their limitations and go and partner with others who've got the skill set that they don't have.
So a more collaborative society all round.
Yeah, that's right.
Great.
So,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was great.